Mayhem News Live wants everybody to remember what happened 12 years ago. We're having these 12 bell tolls to remember 9/11, the people that died in the Pentagon, in the field, and, you know, in the World Trade Center. We're going to continue with the show now, and I appreciate you listening. Hi, this is Mayhem News Live wrestling broadcast. As I said earlier, this is the 12-year anniversary of 9/11, and the 12 tolls that you heard was one bell ring for each year, and thought we'd do that today and kind of give them respect. A lot of stuff going on in the world right now, and so didn't want to start off with that, you know, solemn note, but I felt that they needed respect. And as you can see, I'm still working on my support Daniel Bryan, you know, believe in the beard, you know. So headlines today: professional wrestlers are applauding the International Olympic Committee, or IOC, decision to include Olympic wrestling in the 2020 games after they were not allowed to be in the 2016 games. Dixie Carter, Kurt Angle, Jack Swagger, and Jim Ross, just to name a few, herald the vote. So also another Kurt Angle note: he finished his rehab last week. He is scheduled for 3D's wrestling camp, so good luck to him on that. There's a lot of talk about WWE's ability to find a compelling storyline. Even with the addition of the McMahons, it seems the storylines are floundering. The corporate angle can only be pushed so far, especially when it clashes with past storylines. Wonderful example, the Big Show's ironclad contract. If he's got an ironclad contract, it's just that. He could pretty much tell Triple H to piss off. But, you know, because Triple H is supposed to be in complete control, you know, basically Big Show has to do what he says, which kind of clashes and contradicts his previous thing of having an ironclad contract. After last week's TNA, it seems that Mr. Anderson is back. I like the old Mr. Anderson. WWE has canceled their Barcelona and Madrid tour, mainly because John Cena's not going to be there. He's a big draw, and I guess they figure if he's not going to be there, probably going by the polls that they're not going to have that many people show up. So the Shield versus the Wyatts, I saw a couple of articles that kind of mentioned this, and the big question for this week, Seth says hello, by the way, he normally would be still in school, but he has an ear infection along with his dad, so if I kind of seem a little you know why. But the big question is, will this battle happen? People are starting to talk about it again. I think it's inevitable. Though with the Shield being really pushed now again as a heel, as far as being, helping out Triple H and the McMahons, it's not clear when it's going to happen. But I think it's inevitable. I don't think they can get around it unless one of the groups change. Basically the Wyatts. Even though a lot of people are saying they're tired of the Wyatts, and I'll agree with Rihanna Mater. If you want to follow somebody that has a lot of she's one of our newest writers on Mayhem News. I agree with her. The Wyatts is one of the most important and significant characters that have been added to WWE, and you know, people are saying they're tired of seeing them. Well, it's about time to see something like that. And I also seen a meme the other day. Now we've had wrestling characters based on Aces and Eights was based on, but pretty much robbed Sons of Anarchy. And I'm still looking for the Sons of Anarchy, you know, show to cross over and come in and put it into the Aces and Eights. It's not going to happen, but it would be cool. Then you've got Sting basically becoming the Joker, a relevant of Heath Ledger's Joker. And then, you know, a lot of people are saying, okay, we're going to see a Breaking Bad character. I don't watch that show that much, but from what I've seen, that would be an interesting, very, very interesting character. Let's see here. We're going to move into Raw. Raw gets their Edge back as the Hall of Famer, former WWE Superstar Edge, opens the show. He goes against Triple H, which Triple H wanted him to have Randy Orton on the show. He calls out Bryan. Bryan cuts a blistering promo, and of course Orton comes out, you know, and the funny fact was that Edge pretty much told Orton that he was like, hearing his promo was like, you know, watching paint dry. Ouch. Anyway, and then of course, you know, he mentions this when Triple H comes out. He mentions the size of Triple H's nose. He says, you know, I know you got a big nose, but sometimes you have to look past it. Because he said that Triple H couldn't pick talent, had no clue what he was doing with talent. And then he also tells Triple H that he didn't marry into his success. He actually earned his Hall of Fame ring. And I was like, ooh. Of course, you know that Triple H was in the back, and they probably talked about what they were going to say, but still, I mean, that's... Anyway, Kofi defeats Axel again via DQ when Axel loses his cool. Heyman tells Axel, you can't do that on Sunday. You can't, because I'll end up having to get in you know, it's funny. And then not too long after that, Heyman says he slipped in some spilled water on the floor. Man, ain't you seen Friday? It ain't even wet over there. Anyway, Heyman says he slipped on some water, and basically he says he has his own doctor. Bray Wyatt just feeds Ziggler after Rowan and Harper distract Ziggler and basically allow Bray Wyatt to put on Sister Abigail, which is what he calls his finishing move, and get the win. Heyman tries to say he's injured. He brings out his own doctor and can't compete Sunday. So even if Axel loses, he can't compete. He's pulling himself out of competition. And I never thought I'd say this, but I was actually proud to see Maddox walk out with the WWE doctor and say, no, you got to go through one of our doctors. Doctor does an exam, basically tells that there's nothing wrong with his leg, that he could actually compete if he wanted to. And of course, when CM Punk comes out, Heyman runs to the back, nearly knocking over a security guard. And I was here, sitting here on the couch going, it's a miracle! It's a miracle! He looked like he had hands laid on him, and his ass was on fire and his head was catching because he was gone. It was actually funny. And to hear JBL said, I didn't know walruses could run that fast. That was actually pretty funny. Anyway, Totally Divas, and of course, you know, that's the Funkadactyls, and well, actually, you had Brie Bella, you had one of the Funkadactyls, and then you had Natalya defeat Xana, Alicia, and Layla. Natalya gets the win with the sharpshooter. I think that's right there maybe your new Divas champion, unless they're going to spread this out a little more. Del Rio defeats R-Truth with a cross arm breaker. And I'm sorry, R-Truth is just funny. I don't care what anybody says. He doesn't even have to wrestle. He can just come out and say funny shit. I'd watch him. Hey, Cesaro versus a returning Santino. it's kind of funny. Santino refuses, and as usual, never fails to entertain. Defeats Cesaro with a judo throw. I wonder if he learned that from Kozlov. And gets the pin. The crowd goes kind of course, you know, we get to see the trombone, you know. I missed that. I'm sorry. All right. Sandow versus The Miz. And Sandow actually turns it around after Miz was distracted by Fandango and gets a roll up for the win. He had been on a losing streak, so this was good. You know, Sandow kind of reinforces his character a little bit. Now we come to the best part of the whole show, and it's not because I'm a Goldust fan. It's because this match with Randy Orton and Goldust proved a lot of things. I mean, they had been building this match up, showing these little vignettes of stuff that happened in the past. You know, and it proves that proves one thing. That, you know, they know what Goldust brings, not just in the ring, but out of it. In my opinion, it was the best part of the match. Goldo cuts a shoot promo on Triple H, basically telling him that you know, it was ridiculous. He pretty much reiterates the stuff he said on WWE.com. You know, and it kills me when the match starts. You know, you got Cole and them saying, you know, Goldust returns to the ring after being out, 3 years. Goldust didn't return to the ring. And it kills me that WWE wants you to believe that if a superstar like Goldust isn't wrestling in the WWE, he's not wrestling at all. Well, I hate to tell you, Goldust didn't miss a beat because he never stopped. Goldust has been wrestling around the country. Most fans actually know this. But it just kills me that WWE wants you to believe that he has never been wrestling. Goldust is, in my opinion, in the best shape of his life. Okay? He come out, he gave Randy Orton something to think about. You know, yeah, he lost, and if he'd have won, you know, Cody would have got his job back. Most people that, you know, that listen to other things besides what you hear on TV, you know, we're not going to go into that too much because I believe it's a kayfabe, you know, thing, and I don't know exactly what's going on. I know for a fact that he is getting married. There are talk about the reason why he left was that, but hey. We're just not gonna talk about it. We're gonna let what happens happen. I think even after, you know, Goldust walks off after Stephanie talks to him. We'll get to that in a minute. I think the Rhodes Dynasty versus the McMahons is coming. I think this is not the end. It's just the beginning. It's gonna get bigger. And I think the American Dream and Goldust will return, and I think we're going to see a lot more. If we don't, again, WWE will drop the ball just like they did after the Royal Rumble. They could have set up the match between Goldust and Cody for WrestleMania. But no, they didn't do that. They dropped the ball. They have a tendency not to keep their eyes on the prize. And, you know, because it would be awesome. It would be awesome if they faced each other, but this right here might make more sense. Them working together against a common goal, a common enemy. Stephanie McMahon pretty much continues her alpha bitch mode and receives a challenge from Goldust's wife for a match. She mentions WrestleMania and tells Stephanie, she did not actually add her name, but she did say that Goldust may not hit a woman, but she would. I wouldn't mind seeing that actually. I would like to see, you know, I think it would be interesting. Ryback defeats RVD via DQ due to Ryback had, for some reason, picks up RVD and slams him sprawled leg into the ring post. Ouch. Basically, referee says, hey, that's a low blow. I told you to quit. You didn't. So, hey. Daniel Bryan defeats Ambrose. Now, he had in his corner Big Show. But Big Show was told he could not lay a finger. And when he picked up the chair, I kind of figured that maybe they were going to go with what I was saying. He said you couldn't lay a finger on him. You didn't say anything about a chair or a foot, a table. But they didn't go that way. And basically, shows how smart he is by distracting Orton long enough for Daniel Bryan to come up behind him and hit him with that flying knee. It's a great end to the show. Normally we cover Raw and Ring of Honor, but either Ring of Honor or the TV show Channel 8 there in Milwaukee or wherever it's at, or Madison, they keep showing reruns. I got tired of running around and trying to find what's happened on the updated show. I'm tired of finding dead links. And I'm sorry, I'm a wrestling fan, but I'm not going to pay to get the updated results on the internet. And half the time you can't even find them anyway. So I'm going to remove Ring of Honor right now. Now I'm going to do their headlines and stuff like that, as always. I re-report headlines on everybody. But thanks to Chance Profit, and you can follow Chance Profit, that's at Chance Profit, either on Twitter, YouTube, and if you go to his Twitter, you'll see his YouTube channel, and his Facebook is on there too as well. Because thanks to Chance Profit, I'm starting to report on Ring Warriors TV. It's a great show. It's done by YouTube. It's done on YouTube. They had their first one the other day. It was a great match. It reminds me of GLCW, which is David Hero's production. The interaction basically reminds me, because the interaction between the fans and the audience and the in-ring competitors, it's not like, I'm sorry, but in WWE and TNA, not as much as TNA, because TNA's stars actually, they actually converse with the crowd. But sometimes in WWE, some of the wrestlers act like the fans aren't even out there. And I guess because it's the separation, that they have the barrier and the crowds are bigger, but the small crowds and with Ring Warriors via YouTube, and by the way, Chance Profit is their Bohemian Champion. I haven't got into the background on why they call it the Bohemian Champion. It's got a cool name, but he told me about him. He follows me on Twitter, and I saw it on his timeline and actually watched it. It was a great show, a lot of action, and it seems like everyone that actually should have won TNA's gut check ended up on this show. Those people that they should have picked, but they picked somebody else. Which, come to find out, the way it looks, it might have did them a favor, because most of those people got released. We got people like, let's see, what's that guy? Adam Pearce, Scrapyard is there. Chance Profit is there, and of course, he wrestles all over the place. But it's a great show. It has a lot of action. It kind of makes you miss the days of Mid-South wrestling. Yes, I'm telling you my age. I've actually watched Mid-South as a boy, and it was wonderful. Skandar Akbar, people like Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Junkyard Dog, Kerry Von Erich, Jerry the King Lawler, Arnett, just anybody you could think of. Most of them came. WWF was made up of most people from Mid-South Wrestling. Mid-South Wrestling, that's what WWF. And Hacksaw Jim Duggan actually talked about this in an interview, that most of those people in the WWF when it first started actually came from Mid-South Wrestling. I mean, Flying Phil Watson, you name him. Now he didn't go on to WWE because he was getting close to retirement when WWF's actually started. But the fact that all these people, this is what these shows, and I can see what Daniel Bryan means by wrestling in the armories and, and WWE can say that they're the pinnacle of the business, but they're not the backbone. The backbone is these independent wrestlers that travel around the country, not making a lot of money, and a lot of them don't do it for the money. They do it just for the love of the business. You can tell it. They have some of the best. They don't give anything up. They don't hold anything back. And I'm not saying, you know, there's a lot of wrestlers such as Daniel Bryan and CM Punk and several of these wrestlers that have actually worked their way up to WWE. They actually still give everything. And I understand why some of these wrestlers off camera actually complain about these wrestlers that don't give everything. And but you know, it's fun. I think that we're going to stick with them. Going to maybe find a couple others that I can report on, because I know sometimes it's a while before you know, their shows come out. So we're gonna, you know, but the show went on pretty good. The highlight, I think, was Chance Prophet faced Eddie Malcolm. If I'm not mistaken, he was a newcomer, and it was a great overall match. Some of the looks that Chance Prophet gives, you know, in reaction to some of the things that Malcolm was doing, he just looks out at the ring, looks out at the crowd, and goes, you know, it's funny. And some of the weird, the wicked little smile he gives at the end of the match. You know, if you have never seen Chance Prophet wrestle, you need to go to his YouTube channel. He's great. He does really good. And you know, I really don't know why he hadn't been picked up. Right now, I'm pretty sure he's thanking himself that he did not go to TNA with a gut check, because, you know, as many people as they're letting go, I really don't know. Hold on, I got to pick up some notes here. Just a second. But that's pretty much the show today. We're here every Saturday, every Tuesday. If something changes, I will let you know. Because sometimes if it's payday or if the baby's sick or something like that, I just don't have the time to write down all the notes. I will be posting on our YouTube channel some video I got from Goldust match, and his interviews with and the interaction between him and Triple H. Some of our sponsors, speaking of Goldust, Zach Pack Promotions, they are also covering his tour for next year. www.zachpackpromotions.com. They're also doing Busting for Autism. That's the same web address, www.zachpackpromotions.com, and you can put a / busting, BUSTIN, autism. You can find them there. It's November the 16th and the 17th near Katy, Texas. Goldust is actually filled up. You can't have lunch with Goldust. You can meet him, but you can't have lunch with him. People like Gene Snitsky, Greg the Hammond Valentine, Joey Image, indie wrestler Sergeant Slaughter, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Honky Tonk Man, and many, many, many others. There's so many people, I couldn't even fit it on the page. But they're trying to bring awareness to autism. The show is actually dedicated to a wonderful little young lady, and hey Xana, and she's cute as a button, and our mom and daddy loves her a lot, and she's kind of grown on us too. She's real sweet, and but also fight disability slurs.wordpress.com is my wife and I's thing. We're trying to stop people from using disability slurs, racial slurs, gay and lesbian slurs, just trying to get people to be better human beings, and realizing that word, a lot of the words that they're using does not mean what they think they mean. And the music you heard after the moment of silence and the gongs at the first of the show was New Blood by Throttle. Throttle has Yeah, say hey. Yeah, and Throttle has allowed us to use New Blood as our theme song. They have a new album coming out, Razor Wire Finish Line. All of their stuff is available on iTunes. That is the singles and the albums. You can follow them on Facebook as well. That's THROLD. You can search them in Official Throttle, the same word. I said ODL. And that's THRODL. And Official Throttle, you just add official to that, is their Twitter thing. You can find out wherever they're going to be. And I always give a special shout out to Blast 52 and Blast 52 drummer. Blast 52 is a Irish band. They have damn good music, and you can follow them on their main Twitter, which is at Blast 52. And you know, they have some really decent music. I'm talking about really decent. And they have a new EP coming out. It's going to be available on iTunes. And as soon as we get that information, we'll talk to Miss Stephanie and Brian, and we'll get everybody find out that information where you can download those musics. You can actually go at the end of this video. You'll be able to see their advertisement for their YouTube channel, and you can actually go to their YouTube channel and actually listen to some of their music as they play it. So it's great. I appreciate everybody that's been, you know, here, and get his phone right there, and get his phone right out there where he dropped it. And I appreciate, we've had over 1,000 views. You know, I appreciate everything that's been, you know, said, and I appreciate all the comments, and, you know, people have done. We are going to go back live. It's just the importance of a computer has been kind of shadowed, you know, by more important things. So as long as I can still record it from here, we will go back to live, and make sure you tune in next week to the shows we have next week. You can see how my Daniel Bryan beard has moved on. I'm not going to let it grow out that long. As you can see, I'm already wanting to scratch it off. But anyway, that's been the show for today, and I'm going to let Throttle take us out here, and make sure that y'all buy their stuff and check out Blast 52. And take us out, Throttle.